Welcome. Now we will discuss synchronous motor drive. So, now we will discuss only the basic things of synchronous machine drive. First, what are the different types of synchronous motor? So, first category is wound field synchronous machine. As the name indicates, there is a field winding wound on the rotor. Now, stator all the machines have the normal stator winding, the stator carrying the 3-phase winding, and in first type the rotor winding is there, rotor winding is wound and it is given a DC supply to provide the field excitation. The second type is permanent magnet synchronous machine. So, in the first category, the field excitation it produces electromagnets, and in second type the electromagnets are replaced by permanent magnets, and third type is synchronous reluctance machine. So, as the name indicates, it operates based on reluctance torque only. Fourth type is hysteresis. Synchronous motor. So, wound field synchronous machine it is again divided into two types. First is cylindrical rotor machine, second type is salient pole synchronous machine. Salient pole construction, where in the first category rotor is cylindrical and second type rotor has salient poles, second category. In permanent magnet synchronous machine, it is also of two types. First is surface permanent magnet. Surface means surface mounted permanent magnet synchronous machine. That means the permanent magnets are mounted on the surface. In the second category, interior means buried inside the rotor. Interior permanent magnet synchronous machine, IPMSM. So, second type is abbreviated as IPMSM and first type is abbreviated as SPMSM, surface mounted and interior permanent magnet synchronous machine. And in the third type synchronous reluctance machine. So, let us discuss about synchronous reluctance machine. In synchronous reluctance machine, it has stator winding just like other synchronous machines, 3-phase winding normally, 3-phase distributed winding in stator. The rotor construction is same as the salient pole synchronous machine. That means, rotor is a salient pole rotor, because the rotor is salient pole. So, it implies reluctance, let us write reluctance like this R. Reluctance along the direct axis is less than reluctance along the quadrature axis. Direct axis more iron path is there. So, it offers least reluctance to the flux path. So, this indicates there will be more flux along the direct axis and less flux along the quadrature axis. And because inductance is ratio of flux to current, so inductance along the, because there is more flux along the direct axis, inductance along the D axis is more than inductance along the Q axis, LD is greater than LQ. So, due to that, so because of more flux along the direct axis and less flux along the quadrature axis, the rotor direct axis always aligns along the rotating stator MMF, because stator carries a distributed 3-phase distributed winding. When stator is given 3-phase supply, it produces a rotating magnetic field. That is the basic concept of rotating magnetic field. When the stator MMF is rotating at synchronous speed and the rotor of the synchronous reluctance machine, there is no winding, no DC supply, only reluctance, only variable reluctance is there. So, the direct axis, the pole axis aligns along the rotating stator MMF and gets locked and rotates in synchronism with the stator MMF. That means, under that locked condition, it can develop some torques, it can carry, it can drive a load with at a certain torque. So, load it can produce a torque, and this torque is based on the reluctance principle, hence it is called reluctance torque. In cylindrical rotor wound field synchronous machine, the air gap is uniform, rotor is cylindrical and air gap is uniform. So, the stator MMF and the rotor MMF due to DC supply, they get locked and rotate and torque is produced. But in salient pole wound field synchronous machine, the rotor has salient pole construction, the salient pole rotor carries a winding and DC supply is given. So, in salient pole synchronous machine, the torque has two components. One is which is there in the cylindrical rotor synchronous machine. The second term is due to the variable reluctance, that is difference of the second term is the reluctance torque, which is proportional to 1 by LQ minus 1 by LD, it is proportional to that. So, because in salient pole rotor LD and LQ are different, so this second term is the reluctance torque, and in synchronous reluctance machine only that second term is present, because reluctance is different along D and Q axis, inductances are different. So, that reluctance torque is there and it is only in the synchronous reluctance machine, it is the only torque. In hysteresis synchronous motor, it is employed for low power applications requiring smooth start and quiet application, that is about hysteresis synchronous motor. Let us discuss more comparison between first and second category, wound field synchronous machine and permanent magnet synchronous machine. As the name indicates, in wound field synchronous machine, the rotor has a winding and it gets DC supply, but in that produces electromagnet. When the DC supply is given, it produces electromagnet and that rotor MMF, rotor magnet gets locked with the rotating stator MMF and it rotates in synchronism, that produces the torque. But when the wound field synchronous machine starts from rest, the field supply to the rotor is kept up at the time of starting, and motor is started with with auxiliary motor starting by separate motor. If it is a large motor, large synchronous machine, it is start with auxiliary another motor mounted on the same shaft, which can be induction motor, or if it is small or medium size motor, then this wound field synchronous machine is started with starts like induction motor, and in that case damper winding is faced on the rotor poles. Rotor pole faces damper winding is embedded, and or cylindrical rotor, there are also damper windings are placed, and the damper winding is just like a squirrel cage winding and closed winding, and due to this damper winding, machine starts like induction motor, same like induction motor, and this is for the starting purpose. And when the speed exceeds certain minimum value, then field supply to the rotor winding is switched on, DC supply switched on. So, rotor MMF is produced and rotor MMF gets locked with the stator MMF and motor can carry the load after that. But in second type, that is permanent magnet synchronous machine. So, there is no only permanent magnets are there. So, permanent magnets are mounted on the rotor. So, there is no option, because permanent magnet will be there at the time of starting. It cannot be removed at the time of starting. So, permanent magnets will be there in the at the time of starting as well. Then what is the problem? In permanent magnet, it produces a magnetic field, and when the motor is rotating starting from rest, that means motor speed is less than the synchronous speed, then there will be induced EMF in the stator winding due to the rotor MMF. Okay. Because there is a difference of speed, stator MMF rotates at synchronous speed, stator supply is given at the stator carries the 3-phase current, which is the supply frequency, and produces a rotating magnetic field which rotates at the synchronous speed. But when the speed is less than, when the rotor speed is less than the synchronous speed, these permanent magnets or rotor MMF, they are rotating at a speed less than the synchronous speed. Then there will be induced EMF and in the stator winding, which has a frequency different from the supply frequency. When the rotor speed becomes the synchronous speed, then there will be no relative speed between the stator MMF and rotor MMF, that relative speed is 0. So, that induced EMF will be 0 at synchronous speed. But when the rotor speed is less than the synchronous speed, because there will be EMF induced in the stator winding due to the rotating rotor MMF at a speed different from the synchronous speed, and that MMF induced EMF in the stator winding circulates a current in the stator winding, and that induced stator current interacts with the rotor poles, rotor magnets, and produces a torque. And that torque, by induction principle, it is based on the induction principle, Lenz's law, that torque opposes the rotation of the rotor, hence it produces a braking torque. That means braking torque means it will delay the starting process. So, to minimize that braking torque in permanent magnet synchronous machine, the permanent magnets on the rotor, they are given a special construction, so that braking torque is minimized. That is by construction of the permanent magnet and the rotor mounting. So, that class of motor, permanent magnet synchronous machine, in which the braking torque is minimized, are called line start synchronous machines, line start permanent magnet synchronous machines, and they can start directly. That category is line start permanent magnet synchronous machine. they can start directly. The starting torque produced by the damper winding. In line start PMSM also damper windings are provided, so that starting torque is provided by the damper winding in induction motor principle, and braking torque is braking torque due to the permanent magnet is minimized. So these are some basic constructional features and some comparison about different types of synchronous machine. Then we will go to more detailed discussion about cylindrical rotor wound field motor. As the name indicates, the rotor construction is cylindrical. So, air gap is uniform everywhere. So, there is no direct axis or quadrature like axis like salient pole machine. So, there is only one inductance and one reactance, that is called synchronous reactance. So, you know about this synchronous reactance of synchronous machine. Let us write it as XS. So, with that, let us draw the equivalent circuit. Equivalent circuit neglecting stator resistance. We will do this analysis neglecting the stator resistance, otherwise you can do the add the stator resistance. So, equivalent circuit is like this. So, we have the stator winding which has the synchronous reactance JXS, and the supply voltage is given in a synchronous motor. The supply voltage V is given, which we take as the reference phasor, and it circulates a current in the stator winding. IS is the stator current, and there is the induced EMF in the stator winding, and that induced EMF will oppose the applied voltage, and let us write this induced EMF as E, which is at an angle in minus delta, that means lagging behind V by angle delta with respect to V. So, this is the phasor equivalent circuit. From this equivalent circuit, the input power up to the machine motor, P in is given by 3 supply voltage per phase V into stator current per phase IS into cos phi. Phi is the phase angle between the stator current IS and stator voltage V. Phi is the phase angle, 3 VS IS cos phi, VIS cos phi. So, as we have neglected the stator resistance as stator copper loss I square R loss, that is which is total, if RS is neglected, that means we are neglecting the copper loss 3 IS square RS. So, with that neglecting the copper loss, what is the mechanical power to the mechanical power developed? Let us write that is P m, because I square R losses are neglected, mechanical power is also same as the input power, that is 3 V I S cos phi. From the equivalent circuit, E is the induced EMF per phase, which lags behind the voltage V by angle delta. So, what is the stator current per phase? Let us determine it. Is phasor per phase equal to voltage which has is at reference value, which is taken as the reference, minus induced EMF which is at angle minus delta with respect to V, and divided by reactance JXS, because stator resistance is neglected. So, with that, this term is stator current is V by XS at an angle minus pi by 2 minus E by XS minus pi by 2 minus delta. So, with that, let us determine Is cos phi. In the power expression we have Vis cos phi. So, let us determine Is cos phi. So, Is cos phi is V by XS cosine of minus pi by 2 minus E by XS cosine of minus pi by 2 minus delta. Cos pi by 2 is 0. So, Is cos phi is, first term is 0, second term is E by XS cosine delta, because cos minus delta, cos pi by 2 plus delta is minus sin delta. So, total is E by XS sin delta. So, substituting this Is cos phi in the power developed expression P m, we have mechanical power developed P m equal to 3 V E by X S into sin delta. This delta is angle is called power angle, because power expression is dependent on this delta or sin delta. So, delta is also called the torque angle, because torque is power by synchronous speed. So, torque, electromagnetic torque T E equal to mechanical power developed by synchronous speed omega m s. So, it is 3 V by X S into omega m s sin delta. So, torque is also proportional to sin delta. So, delta is the power angle or torque angle. So, from this we can conclude, for a given excitation, field excitation, when field current is fixed means E is constant, induced EMF E is dependent on the field current or field flux and the relative speed. Relative speed is fixed. So, E is constant. So, P m and electromechanical power and torque are proportional to sin delta. So, if we draw the speed torque characteristics with a fixed frequency, supply. It is like this. This is the torque axis and this is the maximum torque, and this is the omega m axis, speed axis, and this is the speed, synchronous speed, and in the opposite direction this is minus of T max. So, the torque and power are maximum when delta equals to 90 degree. As you see, at delta equals to 90 degree, T e equals to T max, that is 3 V e by x s into omega m s, and P m equals to P max. So, this is called the steady state stability limit. That means, if the machine is loaded slowly, gradually, we can load maximum up to the maximum torque T max or corresponding power P max, and motor rotates at one speed, that is constant speed, synchronous speed, which is obtained at delta equals to 90 degree. The torque and power become maximum. Slowly you can load the motor, and as we load the motor, the load angle delta increases and maximum value of delta, it goes to 90 degree maximum, and at that point maximum power is produced, that is given by this. If the torque is, load torque is increased beyond this maximum torque, then motor will lose the synchronism, motor will pull out of step and motor will stop. So, this is the steady state stability limit, maximum torque and power that can be produced, and that can be reached only if motor is loaded gradually, slowly we can lead up to the stability limit, upper limit. And in this speed torque characteristics, so to the right of the speed axis, we have the motoring operation. For motoring operation, delta is positive. Motoring operation delta is positive. Delta is positive means power P e and P m. Mechanical power developed P m or electromagnetic T e are positive, because delta is positive, sin delta is positive, power and torque are positive. This corresponds to motoring operation, and delta positive means the induced EMF E lags behind V. That is the basic thing. E lags behind the induced EMF, E lags behind the supply voltage by angle delta. So, that is one way of delta in consideration. The other way, delta positive means the rotor is rotating behind the stator MMF. Rotor and stator MMF both are rotating at the synchronous speed. This in motor, this stator MMF rotates ahead of the rotor MMF by angle delta, that is also the load angle delta. And if delta is negative, let us consider that if delta is negative, then mechanical power developed and electromagnetic torque T e are negative, because sin delta is negative, they are proportional to sin delta. So, power and torque are negative. So, this corresponds to generating operation, that means regeneration or generation, and braking, generator operation and braking operation. So, power is negative in generator, power and torque, and in that case, so E induced EMF E leads V, supply voltage V, E is ahead of V, that means the rotor and stator MMF which are rotating in synchronism at the same speed, the rotor MMF moves ahead of the stator MMF by the angle delta. This is for, and the in the speed torque characteristics, the second quadrant is for braking or for generation, corresponding to negative delta. And machine power factor is always can be controlled in synchronous machine by varying the field current and the induced EMF. That is the most important feature of synchronous machine. Machine power factor can be controlled. By varying field current or E. Or induced EMF, both are dependent. So, let us understand how power factor can be controlled. Let us consider the phasor diagrams. Let us consider this is the supply voltage V, this is the induced EMF E, and this is the angle J XS IS impedance drop, and this is the stator current IS. So, stator current lags behind the supply voltage by angle phi, and V and E angle is delta. And this is the phasor diagram for lagging power factor. For unity power factor, V and stator IA current IS are in phase. So, we have this is the induced EMF E and this is J XS IS, and voltage and phi is 0 and delta is angle between V and E. This is for unity power factor. and for leading power factor, let us write V. This is the stator current IS which is leading by angle phi, and this is the induced EMF E lagging by angle delta, and stator reactance drop J XSIS. This is for leading power factor. As you can see, these are the power factor phasor diagrams are different power factor, lagging, leading and unity. And if you compare the phasor diagrams, you can see in the unity power factor voltage and current are in phase, and the induced EMF E, which is forming a right angle triangle with other two phasors, this corresponds to normal excitation. And armature, and you can see this armature reaction for let us the stator current reaction is cross magnetizing. And this is referred to as 100% or normal excitation. If current is lagging, that is under excitation, and so this is the case of under excitation. Why? Because in the armature, the lagging stator current reaction is magnetizing type, or you can say direct magnetizing. So that the induced EMF becomes less. So with under excitation this happens, because the excitation is below the 100% excitation, normal excitation, that means induced EMF E is of smaller magnitude, less magnitude, and with that the voltage V phasor is obtained, and armature reaction is direct magnetizing. That means it helps the field MMF. So with less induced EMF, still you get the same voltage. So it is direct magnetizing. Whereas in leading power factor, you can see the induced EMF E has greater length, induced EMF is more than V. So that means induced EMF more than V means this is the case of over excitation. So with over excitation, the field MMF is higher, but net MMF, air gap MMF is constant always of all types. Net air gap MMF is constant. So because field MMF is more higher because of over excitation, the leading stator current reaction is demagnetizing. Because the leading stator current reaction is demagnetizing, it reduces the net flux which is less than the stator MMF. So all the time we can say the air gap MMF equal to field MMF plus MMF flux plus stator reaction MMF. In terms of flux or MMF, in terms of MMF also you can write MMF, let us write as AT G equals to ATF plus ATS, stator MMF. So, the field MMF, the air gap MMF is always constant. So, when excitation is more than 100% over excitation, field MMF, field flux is more, and it causes the armature current, stator current to be leading in nature, leading power factor, current leads the voltage. So, that leading current causes demagnetization. So, stator MMF is of demagnetizing type and resultant MMF is same all the times. And in case of lagging power factor, it happens with under excitation. When the excitation is below normal, field flux is less than the normal value. So, it causes the armature current to be lagging, stator current to be lagging, which causes direct magnetization. So, the stator MMF due to stator current, it assists, it adds to the field MMF. So, that air gap MMF is always the same, air gap MMF is constant. So, this leads to the curve called the V curve. So, we have the V curve of synchronous machine. So, this is the stator current IS versus the field current IF. At this point, the stator current is minimum, IS minimum, and stator current is minimum at unity power factor. Stator current is minimum at unity power factor, and corresponding field current is the 100% field current that corresponds to normal excitation. And if it is over excited, that means this side more excitation more than the field current, this current leading stator current, leading power factor, and which causes demagnetizing type. Armature stator current is demagnetizing type. And if excitation is less than 100% under excited, it causes a lagging stator current. So, this is of lagging power factor, which causes direct magnetization. The stator MMF adds to the field MMF. So, that air gap MMF always remains same. Another important point, regarding steady state stability limit, which we are discussing. Steady state stability limit is reached at load angle delta equals to 90 degree. Maximum torque and maximum power are delivered at that is the stability limit. So, we have P load power equals to P max and load torque equals to P max, stability limit. So, that is the maximum power and torque that can be delivered. And if load torque is more than the maximum torque, the pull out torque, and load power, corresponding load power is more than the maximum power that can be delivered corresponding to delta equal to 90 degree, the machine pulls out of step and loses synchronism. So, in that case, in order to prevent the damage due to excessive current, circuit breakers must disconnect the machine when it comes out of step. otherwise large current will set in, because there will be no induction, because there are different speed, there will be no induction. So, the current will be very large, which can damage the machine. So, circuit when there is a when the machine comes out of synchronism, loses synchronism, immediately circuit breakers must disconnect the machine. This is very important for medium and large power motors machines. Okay. Then another, this is steady state stability, another is transient stability. Transient stability is given by equal area criterion. Equal area criterion of stability. And in this case, we have equal area criterion is very well known, and in this case the torque balance equation let us consider during transient condition. In transient condition, torque balance equation is given by electromagnetic torque developed by the machine equals to accelerating torque plus damping torque plus load torque. T A is the accelerating torque, which is given by coefficient K j into d square delta by dt 2. This is the accelerating torque. Delta is the load angle, this is the second derivative, is the acceleration torque. And T d, which is given by a constant K d into d delta by dt, it is the damping torque. And the equal and electromagnetic torque T E is not the same as for machine operation during the transient condition. Electromagnetic torque developed is not given by that expression which you have derived previously. The electromagnetic torque is given by some 3 V into E dash by x s dash into omega ms into sin delta. And this because under the transient condition the reactance x s is dash is different from x s and E dash is different from E dash in EMF. So, this x s dash and E dash are reactance and EMF behind the synchronous reactance. Behind the transient reactance. Behind the transients. So, we can write the induced EMF E dash is supply voltage V minus J x dash into I s. So, I s is the x s dash is the transient reactance and E dash is the EMF behind that transient reactance. So, with that this equation, this torque balance equation can be rewritten like this. The accelerating torque is K j d square delta by dt 2 plus damping torque is K d into d delta by dt, and accelerating torque, electromagnetic torque is T max dash into sin delta plus load torque equals to 0. This is the equation, torque balance equation, which is referred to as the swing equation. This decides how the delta swings. Okay. So, this is the swing equation. Then next point is regarding braking. So, first category is regenerative braking. In regenerative braking, the synchronous machine operates as synchronous generator, and this can work only at synchronous speed. Obviously, at synchronous speed only machine can operate as generator. So, this regenerative braking cannot be applied to reduce the speed or stop the drive. It is not applicable, regenerative braking is not applicable. Then in that case, to reduce the speed and or to stop the motor, dynamic braking is done. In dynamic braking, the stator winding is disconnected from stator's 3-phase supply. And a 3-phase resistor is connected across the stator. So, in that case, because there is no supply, there is no synchronous rotating field. So, because of the rotor rotation, there will be induced EMF in the stator winding. There is no stator MMF, no stator. So, because of the rotor MMF rotating, there will be induced EMF in the stator, which produces a current, and that current circulates in the resistance and dissipated as heat. So, motor it produces an opposing torque. The stator current produces a torque in interaction with the rotating rotor MMF, and that torque opposes the rotor rotation, and hence it is a braking torque, and it is the dynamic braking torque. So, okay, thank you for attention.